Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring to you
Season 1, Episode 6, First Day Out.
Welcome everyone to episode 6 of the Juggalo Rewind, your new favorite Juggalo podcast. In a world of Juggalo podcasts, we're certainly one of them.
There's the tagline. We're one of them.
My name's Peter. That's Chris. What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just bouncing back and forth here on two different songs as we review one song.
Jesus, you're jumping right into it. You're not even, not even letting us.
I was in the middle of reading stuff.
Chris is just doing his homework right now. I've been doing my homework for months and years on this project, and he's just jumping on. We never really talked about that. We've literally talked about this for years.
That's true. We've talked about it for a long time, and started and stopped. We kind of like getting somewhere. We're like, all right, this is where we're going to launch, and then it didn't happen. Yeah. I feel like it took us 2 years to do this. It took us years to do our wrestling podcast, and we still never did the one we wanted to. So maybe that's a future. It's we blame the pandemic on this one.
That's definitely not the case. Not at all. Anyways, as we said, we are, as you know, the Juggalo Rewind, and we want you to follow us on all social medias, Twitter and Instagram at Juggalo RWD, Facebook's Juggalo Rewind, the website is juggalorewind.com, and then you can always email us at juggalorwd@gmail.com. Any of those, you can find us, let us know what you think, give us a little follow, a little retweet, a little heart, a little
heart ski.
Yeah, whatever you do. As I'm going to look up just to make sure that I have it right, we're going to have to edit our notes here. I started a Juggalo Rewind TikTok.
Oh, that'll come in handy for Halloween weekend coming up. Never mind. Time stamping ourselves.
Stupid fucker. Now that you can just hear my thing running, I think I haven't done anything with it.
It's there, though.
It is there. It's at Juggalo RWD. I don't know how to do anything with it because I just started to look for like the songs, and like there's no Twiztid Mostasteless songs in there to pull, so you'd have to like do it yourself.
Oh,
so.
And that's the thing where you do stuff to music right on there.
Yeah, you do We'll
hire my little brother as an intern for that.
Oh yeah, he's the Mr. TikTok, TikTok famous.
That's what he tells us.
Anywho, so yeah, those are all of our socials. Just find the Juggalo Rewind on all those places and let us know you're out there. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Google, anywhere that you're listening to podcasts, or just the website. Website has a nice little player on it. People want us to be on YouTube, and I don't get listening to something on YouTube. Like, if you can just listen through the internet and you need to do it there, just go to our website. Go to juggalorewind.com and click the little...
Well, maybe people like
button.
using their YouTube app, though.
What? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think people you have the app and then you just go right through there, so we'll have to load them up there.
Whatever. I'm over it.
I'll get them up there, don't worry.
Okay.
All you YouTubers, I'm here for you. I got your back.
You and Jake Paul, or Paul Logan. Who's the assholes? The two brothers that are...
The shitty boxers?
Yeah. The shitty wrestlers. Shitty human beings. All right, we're not shitty human beings. We're the Juggalo Rewind.
We're juggalos.
All right, so as you know, we deep dive one song at a time through a whole season, and this season we're talking Mostasteless by Twiztid.
Mm-hmm.
This week we're talking First Day Out by Twiztid.
By Twiztid, a cover though, huh? First cover on the...
First and, I was going to say only cover that Twiztid's ever done, but that's a lie.
Yeah.
So, maybe we'll do a cover season one day.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That and Hungry Like the Wolf, and People Are Strange, and I think that's it.
ICP, those got a few. You got the Above the Law one. Blaze has got the one.
Yeah, now we're...
sorry, go on.
We're getting deep into it. That's, I threw us down that rabbit hole. So, First Day Out by Twiztid. Let's mention this first. This is officially... The title is First Day Out 98.
That's true. We want to be correct here.
And am I not mistaken that it's... Is it spelled out? First Day Out? For Twiztid? Or for ICP? Which
ICP is spelled out.
Then maybe, I don't know if Twiztid's spelled out. We have just gotten confirmation from the vinyl that you can win if you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or give us a review on Apple. You can win this vinyl, which we're looking at right now. And Twiztid First Day Out is the number 1 ST. First Day Out.
Yep.
Whereas ICP's is spelled out. Makes a big difference, and we like the minutia of the little things.
Yes, all the odds and ends we got to clean up here.
Producer on this track would be the first one we've hit so far, Mike E. Clark.
Legend.
Do we want to talk about Mike Clark here? I mean, I don't know what else. If you don't know who Mike Clark is, it's local legend of...
Yeah, if you're not into the Juggalo culture and just listening to this because you want to learn some things about the Juggalo culture, yeah.
Who is that?
I don't know. You never know. Some people might be curious.
Mike Clark, local legendary producer, mostly I would say known for ICP of the 90s and on and off in the 2000s.
The golden age.
That's one way to say it. And then he also currently is on tour, or I assume he's with Mike Clark. He's with Kid Rock, right? Is he still with Kid Rock?
All I know from Kid Rock is he did all summer long. He got to hang his hat on that, but he actually tours with him.
Yeah, he's his
new Uncle Cracker.
No, Paradigm is his new Uncle Cracker. I think he's like either the reruns the soundboard or the lighting, or like...
That's crazy.
He's on his payroll. I mean, just going back through his history, he's done stuff for Kid Rock even as early as the 90s. He's produced for Esham, but he's also done like random, like other, like George Clinton. He's just all over the place and very famous, very stuck. I wouldn't say stuck. Like he's definitely in the Juggalo world, but he's
an integral part.
Yeah.
I would call him the unofficial third member of ICP from that golden time frame.
Yeah, and he clearly has touched upon Twiztid and Blaze and other stuff too. So.
Right. Yeah, he was the go-to in that era for sure. It's kind of interesting because he produced both. And they're both different sound when it comes to the beat a little bit.
What are you talking about?
First Day Out and
let's look at that. There's no way he produced First Day Out on Carnival Carnage.
I thought he was listed as the producer.
He didn't come on board until like Riddlebox, didn't he?
Well, now the question is who made
I don't know. This isn't a Carnival Carnage podcast, so...
Yeah, we didn't do the research on that, but according to Genius, it says produced by Violent J and Mikey Clark.
I guess he did come in early. Maybe he did do some stuff on Carnival Carnage. I just didn't think he did that CD. So, all right. Or that song.
We'll clear that up when we do the Carnival Carnage season.
Yeah. Tune in a couple of years when we get to that one. So, Mike Clark produced First Day Out, I guess, for both. This track comes in at 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Pretty...
That's a long one.
It is track number 6 on the original Mostasteless, and it comes in at number 9 on the reissue. Kind of interesting how now... Maybe we'll spend the episode later on talking about this, but the order of why they put things where they did...
Right.
Kind of interesting that you wouldn't just plug and play something. Like last week we talked about Murder, Murder, Murder and how that came off. Why didn't they just plug something in its place? Clearly, I mean, they would have, but they also bumped this down the record. Like, I wonder why you would do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess overall it's not that far off, 3 tracks down, but yeah, it follows, like you said, Murder, 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 and then the reissue, it follows $85 an hour, which is definitely a completely different feeling song. So, you kind of want to get a flow of the album, so.
Like you said, there's just a different flow, but what that flow is, or what they were thinking at the time is.
Also, looking at the national, reissue, First Day Out, no 98 at the end. just called First Day Out.
Really?
Yes. At least according to Wikipedia right now.
I didn't pick up on that. God forbid we had the actual CD.
We had them out here weeks ago, but
yeah, they've now been put back away into the Juggalo archives in the studio. I would say obviously, but if you've followed us this long, it being a Mike Clark produced song, it's not on the demo and it's not on the House of Horrors tour. This was clearly made once Twiztid was on the label.
And this is the first one, then, like you said earlier, the first Mikey Clark appearance, and this is the first straight psychopathic Twiztid track.
Let's just get into that right now. We're going to take a little side venture here. A running theme of this season is the split between what we think, or I mean, I won't even speak for Chris, what I think is the psychopathic sound once they signed versus the House of Crazies sound from before they signed, what they brought on. This song, if you're listening to the album front to back, is clearly the first, like, jarring, oh shit, this is different. Mm-hmm. Like, so just looking at going down the list of episodes you've already listened to, Secondhand Smoke, Die Motherfucker Die, Murder, Murder, Murder is all like grimy, House of Crazy sounding, like not bad Detroit 90s rap, but like it's just got that sound. And then you hit this and it's like, oh, it's cleaner, it's almost like better produced, it's louder, it's a different vibe. And Mostasteless is really the tale of two CDs, I feel. Like, for being an iconic CD, or iconic album, I should say, it's got a little, like, internal issue of what it wants to be.
Right.
Like, is it trying to be House of Crazies, or is it trying to be ICP?
Yeah, it's still making its persona. They're kind of figuring it out as they go along. Yeah, and their sound, for sure. Like, not even just who they are, but, like, what they sound like. And I think the song, in my notes, we can talk about it in each lyric, but I'm curious how Twiztid actually felt about this. Like, was there a point where they were like, oh shit, this is not the way we want to go, or are they... Yeah, was this pitched to them? It had to have been, right?
Or was it thrust upon them?
Or was he just a big fan and was like, I want to cover this? There's no way, right?
It's possible. I mean, there's definitely elements of all that. Like, did they want to do this? Maybe. They grew up knowing ICP and like either being fans of or being friends with. So I'm sure they didn't have a problem with it. But as we go through the rest of the CD, or the album, I'm wondering if in their head they're like, oh, this is cool. This is great. Oh, maybe I didn't want to do this. Oh, now they're pushing their agenda on me. Oh, now like I'm compromising. Let's just take a sidestep. So Chris is a graphic designer. He makes his own t-shirts, his own brand. We haven't talked about that in a while. 20 by 20 apparel. You'd love to be signed and work for Vince McMahon in WWE, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So like your first shirt, you'd be like, oh, cool. This is my design. This is what I like. This is my style. But the first time they like made you do something shitty, you're like, I'm still here. It's my dream job.
Right.
But then like how many more of those till you're like, fuck, this is terrible. Like I'm not happy anymore.
Right.
So I'm sure this has to still be the honeymoon period, right?
Oh,
like,
definitely. Because they're at that point selling dozens. And even this, they're not nationally signed, but I imagine they're going to sell the best they ever did at their life at this point,
right?
With that release,
you would think that they've sold more Mostasteless than all House of Crazies combined, right? But what was the point? And again, we've said this in the past. We're not going to dwell on the divide of ICP and Twiztid or take sides, but there has to be a point where this went from cool to overbearing to their artistic, whatever. And again, I think this CD has, what's the word, like a schizophrenic, like a split down the middle.
Forth.
Yeah, it's as the re-release comes out.
And it's even more deep with the release, for sure.
Because the Twiztid song, the House of Crazies songs come off, and the psychopathic sounding songs with ICP on them come in. And I feel like they kind of took over, and I wonder if that was, I mean, obviously that was 10, 15 years before the actual split, but I wonder.
They always had kind of back and forth. Even like There's way jumping ahead and stuff. But Green Book, they have some lyrics where they discuss that of like Frankenstein and things where it's like, I think they've always kind of wrestled with they want to be their own thing, but they like being part of the whole world because obviously that's what, before that came, they never had anything. And
why wouldn't they want to be?
So, I think it's always a bit of back and forth struggle the whole ride. And this is like the first look at it. And like you said, the reissue, not released that much further down the line, but it does feel like a completely different album when you look at the track listing side by side. And like I said, the ones that they put in definitely feel like like you said, psychopathic. This one still feels like a House of Crazies. This feels like they took House of Crazies and like cleaned it up, gave it more direction. I don't know how to describe it, but this one still feels like a House of Crazies one, just kind of cleaned up, where the reissue feels like, this is way more psychopathic, running with it.
I'm distracted because I'm looking at this picture of Jamie Madrox with this long-ass pinky fingernail, and it's just creepy how it's staring at me. I don't like it. All right, so we're going to touch on that, I think, further in every episode, but we really haven't talked about it yet. I think it's something I've been assuming we're going to talk about, and we'll try to plug it in where we can, but definitely this is the first, to a lay person listening to the CD, I would imagine, this is a jarring, holy shit, why is this song here? Not that it's good or bad, it's just, it sounds like a different group, and it's definitely recorded at a different time with a different producer from a different boss. I don't know.
And just like the boss, you only have the one guy singing it.
Yes, I think that's something that I didn't put in my notes, but I definitely thought of, so we will touch on that. All right, let's get into the lyrical deep dive of First Day Out. This is the second week in a row for us, and the second track in a row that I would call a story song. Yeah,
definitely.
Story time with Jamie Madrox, baby. Reference for the wrestling fan out there listening to us. So it's definitely a story. It goes through a series of events and not just rhyming for rhyming's sake.
It goes through, this is one day, right?
Yes.
The entire first day out. So you're just telling that story of that moment he leaves the jail.
Correct. Obviously, like we said, this is a cover of ICP's First Day Out from Carnival of Carnage. And I think in going through the lyrics, we had two choices. We're either going to do one and then talk about the other, or we kind of have to do both at the same time.
Bounce back and forth.
I think we kind of have to do both at the same time. Yeah. So allow me to move my microphone and move my notebook here so I can talk about both songs at the same time. We have a lot of wire retention and management here in the studio. Okay, so like Chris alluded to, First Day Out is talking about the first day out of jail that the storyteller is telling us about. One thing that I noted, and I think this is obvious, but I'm just being an asshole when I'm going through looking at this, and maybe it can't be true. Let the gates up so I bail. Sometimes I think, is he escaping? Or did he literally get bailed out of jail and that's why he's leaving?
Yeah, I think he's just using bail as the term that he's leaving.
I just like to think that they let the gates up. I think maybe when I'm thinking they left the gates up, so he's like, oh, gates are up, I'm out of here. But yeah, in reality, it's...
No, because he follows up with smart-ass mouth, even though I paid my dues. He's done, he's gotten out.
Yeah, he paid his dues, then he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Well, why would his people be waiting for him? They would know that he's leaving at that time.
Have you never watched any jail movies or TV shows where they bail someone out, or they where they break someone out of jail? Anyways, yeah, that was a stupid one, I'm sorry. So he's been in jail for 6 months, talking about how shitty jail was.
No, we didn't do. We should have looked at what charges get you 6 months in jail. That's not too heavy a sentence.
I don't know. 6 months in county jail? That's kind of shitty.
He's only in the county, right?
What county are we talking?
He's not
Wayne
federal
County?
Penitentiary.
Yeah, not 6 months in Jackson. It's
no.
6 months in Wayne County.
I'm thinking he stole a car or something, breaking and entering maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it's from stalking and killing the girl in the last song, which also kind of funny. We should have brought that up. There's no way any of those crimes would have gotten you 6 months, but it is funny that The track before this is Murder, 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 where they talk about killing random people. And then this song that follows it is about getting out of jail. So,
well, maybe they didn't have enough to stick him. Like maybe just so he was an accomplice to murder or something, you know?
Maybe they got him for all that jizz on the pillow.
Excessive masturbation.
That should be a crime. That's a crime against humanity. Listen to last week's episode if you want to hear about the scariest thing in the world. What keeps me up at night is thinking about someone
jacking off on your pillows.
Yeah, it's horrific.
Hair sticking to it. But there's been a lot of jacking off those 6 months in the county jail, that's for sure.
Yeah, those rubber shoes are squeaking.
Maybe that's what most tasteless means. We've always tried to figure it out. Maybe it's about...
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Go on. What were we talking about?
Jesus. I kind of want to talk about, like, before we even get into that, the little intro part. Like, not the part where it says I got another funky rhyme. But
yeah,
like
the little, like,
the person in the
yell.
background. Yeah. I always thought that was kind of fucking stupid, honestly. Like, the ICP version is...
Oh, I love the ICP version.
So it's talking about... It's Shaggy.
Yeah.
But then it's funny, and again... this one is Jay doing it for, right?
Yeah, I think it's just a cool little nod that it was his song, and he's like, Madrox is covering it. I think it's a cool...
I think it's him keeping his hands in the pie, and he can't get out of it. Like, why didn't they let Monoxide do that?
I get that point, but it was his song originally, so I think it's just kind of cool. He's like, oh shit, he's doing my shit, man. This is cool. I was fine with it.
We'll talk about that later because there's another part that does the same thing. It's also funny that he says they're going to remake the Wicked shit. Like, I never picked up on that until I looked at the lyrics.
Oh, really?
So he says, oh shit, Twiztid, this is my shit. They're going to remake the Wicked shit. So it's like he's calling out that they're remaking his thing. Like, he's proud of it.
Yes, he's proud of his son.
What? All right. Anyways, as the story goes, the storyteller, as we will say, gets out of jail, talks about how shitty it was, gets picked up by his buddies, and,
and the hoopty muffler dragon gets so good.
Driven home. Here's the first thing that Chris and I have already discussed before the microphones got turned on. The whole Fago versus the Moon Mist. So there's a lot of this. A lot of the lyrics are the exact same, right?
A lot of just small little tweaks and changes, like chrome toilet, rolled blankets, rubber shoes has changed, that small things like that. Some of it's exact, and then some of it's like pretty close, but the change of the Fago is almost gone, and the 2 liter of Moon Mist. So did you have a note about? I like Fago better than Moon Mist. Fago, I just hate Moon Mist and Mountain Dew, so maybe that's why.
Could be.
I like them just saying Fago. I like that better, and I like Mexican Village better than KFC. But other than that, overall, I would say the Madrox one flows better.
I think it's interesting, and maybe it's because the beat is slower than the original. That Jay is literally... I was singing this to myself at work while I was doing this. He just sings, and the Fago is almost gone. Like, it's like he's talking, and I know that turns into like Jay's style of like rapping, but the fact that he said all that in one line, and Jamie says, and the 2 liter of Moon Mist is almost gone.
It's a lot quicker.
Yeah, he double times it, and that's just showing like his style, I guess. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've already alluded to this, that Madrox is probably the best of the bunch of the 4 when it comes to
like just
rapping
straight
and
flowing.
So that that makes sense here. And Jay to me is always like influenced by like Ice Cube's cadence, I feel like, when it comes to that. So I that's what I kind of get out of Jay's version of this song.
All right.
I don't know. Just the way it sounds. It sounds more of that like old school West Coast.
Wow, we're stretching on that.
I'm not saying it sounds like that. I'm just saying I think that's what his influence on the way he's trying to rap in those early years. Is he's trying to like sound like those guys like.
I think he's just straight talking.
The way it hits. I think that's what he's trying to do. I'm not saying he's doing it correctly.
All right. So as the story goes, they're in the car. He's, as Chris alluded to, that he wants to stop the jack-off session and actually find a woman.
According to these lyrics, though, Sounds like his nuts are backed up, like he wasn't jacking off in the pen. Nuts are kind of anxious to drop a load. Like, I mean, if he's jerking off, they wouldn't be that tight.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is not what I expected when we started this podcast. Yeah, maybe that's more of a mental thing than a physical thing.
True.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
Jay says, my nuts are kind of hard, so I need a mate.
That really sounds funny.
So yeah, basically, in both, they have their friend hook him up with a girl, and this is where I think shit gets funny. I mean, not that it hasn't already been funny. They both claim, they can't pick the girl up because they can't drive, so you better take the bus or the cab. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm going to start going into a rant here. I have a couple rants.
You mad about the SEPTA bus?
Follow me. Well, I guess maybe we should skip ahead a little. We'll go and then we'll come back. So the girl meets him, right? He says he's going to pay, but then he forgot his money. Mm-hmm. So she has to pay for the cab
and the dinner too. And
the dinner. But then they go right into eating again. So follow me here, and I'm sorry. I'm going with the Twiztid version, okay? And I apologize that I'm reading this and not singing it.
You want me to sing?
No, that's okay. We'll save that for the Patreon. He talks to the girls that he knows. Pick me up at 3, can't, the bus don't ride your street. We can eat around the corner at KFC. You can take a cab and I'll pay the fee. When she showed up, she was out of luck and he forgot his wallet in his truck. So they went to KFC and ate. The next line, you go down, drunk as fuck, smell alcohol bomb, chewing on his food like a carnivore, and then they're talking about like slurping up the every last bit through your missing tooth, like the bowl of soup.
Yeah.
He's not eating a bowl of soup, but fucking...
No.
And then they go into like the shrimp and the steak and the wine. So what happened to fucking KFC?
Yeah, the whole KFC part makes no sense. So going back also, I guess, no, you could get a bowl of soup and a steak at a Mexican Village. So, yeah, Twiztid adding the Madrox adding the KFC doesn't really make any sense at all on this. Because I'm saying it's all the same meal. You're saying there's 2 meals here?
That's what I'm asking. Like, even Mexican Village was weird. You're not getting...
They got carne asadas.
He just couldn't fit that in. So he's like, how do I...
Chewing on my carne asada like a carnivore.
Like, I think it's just weird that... Or is he saying... Maybe I misread this. We can eat... No. It's not like, hey, you know that KFC on the corner? There's a real sweet steak place like nice. Around the corner.
That sells 1954 vintage wines?
Yeah, like, meet me at the KFC and not 10 feet further, like, at the actual restaurant. Like,
he was ready to pay for the KFC, and then when he realized he could scam her and not bring his money, he's like, oh, shit, let's go to this steakhouse next door.
I mean, maybe.
That has 54 wine.
And it's interesting that, like, I guess I never picked up on this till I read this, that she was dressed to impress, chewing dentine gum, and he was drunk as fuck. So he's saying that, like...
I thought he was chewing the dentine gum when I first...
Yeah, I think he's insinuating that she came looking nice, and he looks like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And they don't care. J version, she's all prettied up for nothing. I'm smelling like shit. So I think they're both insinuating that this girl thought it was going to be a nice date. And
a juggalo showed up.
Yeah, which both of our wives know how that is. So yeah, that was my note about the fucking went to KFC and then went to dinner. I mean, not that I haven't done that, but it seems very strange. So let's go back here, and I have a question for you, Christopher, because I think you brought it up earlier. With a knot in my sock, bitch, I thought you knew.
Right.
And I guess in the ICP version, that is not in my sock.
You dumb bitch, you, right? Is that what he says?
That's hilarious because I have 2 different versions of 2 different things here. What do you think not in my sock means? Because I've gathered 2 different things.
He's got his money rolled up and tucked in his sock.
And so he has it, but he doesn't want to spend it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a wallet. He's just keeping his money hidden in his sock, and she doesn't know it's there. He's fooling her with his wallet not being there. That's what I thought.
I think I read somewhere that it was insinuated that that's his ankle tether.
No, that can't be right.
Because I forgot my wallet in the glove box in my truck. Foot the tab for the cab and the dinner too with a knot in my sock. Bitch, I thought you knew. Like, yeah, I thought you knew what? That I had money and I'm not going to spend it on you? Or is it, hey, I'm a piece of shit.
I'm just out of jail and I have
gotta,
no money? That actually makes more sense.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I took it as he was hiding his money, but it does make more sense that he would say, bitch, I thought you knew that I'm fresh out of jail and I have no money because I haven't been working.
Right. Or, hey, I'm fresh out of jail and I keep my money in my sock. But then, hey, you have money. You didn't forget it.
Yeah, either way, I guess it works.
And how does he have a truck to leave it in?
Well, he always had his truck just sitting there. It was idle. Someone had to start it for it, though, so the battery didn't die.
Where did that come from? You're looking very deep into this.
6 months without your truck, someone's got to start it for you.
That's true.
I'm looking deep. You're the one dissecting what's in his sock.
Better than what he put in the pillowcase in the last song.
Come on now.
Okay, then...
How about Dentine gum? You don't hear that much anymore.
I think I chew Dentine gum.
You still buy Dentine gum?
I buy something.
I don't really buy any gum.
Well, I have a... Yeah, whatever. Okay. One place I don't chew gum is on the podcast because we're professionals. That's what we've been told. Okay, so now they're eating dinner, which... Okay. Again, they're eating soup. She goes to the bathroom, and when she goes to...
They're eating soup.
That's what? He plopped his face in the bowl of soup, right?
That visual is funny.
She goes to the bathroom, and then he takes that opportunity to buy wine, steak, shrimp. I mean, he's
I got a big problem here.
Okay, you go ahead.
He's buying a nice steak, nice 1954 vintage wine. He's getting the steak well done, like a fucking lunatic. Dipping it in ketchup?
I can't believe I didn't pick up on that.
That's the worst thing about the entire song is he wants a steak well done. No one saying eats... Well, he's not saying because he's a murderer in the last song, so this makes sense. He'd be a serial killer because only serial killers get their steaks well done.
I would probably get my steak well done.
I quit. I'm no longer on this podcast.
I don't like the raw, bloody meat.
It shouldn't go anywhere above, even medium to me seems insane. Medium rare.
I like a nice, even, gray.
Gray? When I think of a good steak, I want it gray.
Jesus Christ. I just dropped the microphone.
Yeah, that was my biggest beef with this song.
Beef. No pun intended.
Violent J, was his?
No. Hey, Louie, bring a fucking steak with that.
I like that line, too. Hey, Louie.
Yeah, so there's a place where... How do they know the names of the fucking waiters?
Garcon and Louie.
Yeah.
Louie sounds like a cooler waiter. I'd want to go to his restaurant over Madrox's restaurant.
Louie sounds like the guy who works at fucking Coney.
It does.
It should be... what's that guy's name? The guy at Lafayette?
Fasal?
Yeah, Fasal. Bring some fucking fries with that. 3 on 2. Double chili. No onion.
Any juggalos not in the Metro Detroit area have no idea what we're discussing right now.
That would be a reference to Lafayette, Coney Island, and the best waiter in the city.
He's high on the seniority list because he's never there at nights anymore. He used to run into him at nights there. Now he's only
seen him
lunchtime crowd.
Also, shout out to Mayo, who works at Dooley's, Coney Island. He used to only work on the weekends. I don't know if he's still there.
I don't know anyone. I mean, I know Dooley's, but I don't know any of the
staff by name.
No.
Anyone who wants to come to Detroit and hang out with us and buy us Coney, we'll take you to the best place available.
We don't like time-stamping ourselves on here, but, every year as Hollow Wicked Fright Fest, people come to town, so let us know. We'll be at either of them.
Especially if you're buying Conies.
Back to the story at hand.
Yes. One thing that changed, obviously, we talked about the wine. Jay goes for the 52 and Madrox goes for the 54.
So I was trying to find a 52 wine. I don't know if I found anything correct here, but I did find a allegedly 54 bottle of wine, same style. It would be 529 euros, so it's $624. That seems cheap for a wine from 1954, doesn't it?
I have no fucking clue.
But yeah, according to my research here, that wine now would cost $624.
That's the one thing that Chris researched in this fucking episode is how much wine costs.
How much the wine costs.
Fuck. Doesn't look at the lyrics or where the song is coming from, but he looked at fucking wine. Here's something that I looked into while you were looking at fucking wine prices in euros. You go to the J version, right? Let me go back. The bitch jumped up with a boom. I have to fix my hair and broke to the bathroom.
By the way, the woman's voice on the ICP one always cracks me up.
I have to fix my hair.
It sounds so funny. Go on.
The bitch jumped up with a boom
I have to fix my hair.
and broke to the bathroom.
Okay, so she clearly says, I have to fix my hair and broke to the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. Da-da-da-da. He orders all the food. He thinks she's taking a shit. She comes back. She's back now, and her hair ain't fixed. Probably took a long, greasy ass smelly shit.
Great line.
So she says
Greasy ass smelly shit.
she has to fix her hair. She comes back, and he says it doesn't look any different. Jamie Madrox, go to his version. The bitch jumped up faster than a race and told me she had to powder her face. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's
Right.
an old timey, like I have to powder my nose, I have to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Didn't talk about her hair, right?
Right.
She comes back. She's back now, and her hair ain't fixed.
Oh, he didn't fix the lyrics.
So, like, did he literally, like, I'm not judging him for doing this, but, like, did he have Jay's lyrics, like, written and just, like, hey, I can double time this, I want to change Fago to
Right.
this, I da-da-da-da, and he didn't think about that? Like,
I never thought of it till you mentioned it here. It sounded fine to me.
the consistency that her hair, well, she didn't say anything about her hair. So...
That's funny. I did not catch that. Good call.
That's what we do here on the Juggalo Rewind.
Both were insinuating that they're taking shits, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's okay.
But ICP's or Violent J's version of the shit is much funnier because it says greasy ass.
And in both of them, the girl comes back and they're like, you know, why are you still eating? Let's get the fuck out of here. So
We also didn't say the difference between Jay is eating it like a pit bull and Madrox is eating his like a carnivore. I mean, I guess I don't know which one's better. Carnivore is just I mean, he's a meat eater. He's a meat eater himself, right? A human's a carnivore, right?
stellar commentary, like Christopher. I'm talking about fixing your hair instead of taking a shit, and he's talking about carnivores.
I just wanted to point out that was another difference in here.
He's just been playing dinosaur with his kids lately, so he wants to talk about herbivores and carnivores.
I ain't saying nothing, though.
Other note that Madrox throws in that we can watch a horror flick. So that throws more of the the horror film fans is their genre.
Yeah, more a little bit of a Twiztid's persona getting sprinkled in on this track.
Yeah, their gimmick.
Kind of like that guy who sprinkles the steaks online, a little meme guy. They're sprinkling the Twiztid on this track.
How many times are you going to fucking do the sprinkle move with your fingers when no one can see it except for me?
They can kind of hear it.
Stupid ass. It's like Emerald with the band.
Pay this shit so we can go to your crib and watch a horror flick with your dad.
Notice that the little interlude between between verses, Madrox is super short.
Right.
You're employed? Shit. Nah.
Oh, shit. Nah, that part's really funny, though.
But then on the ICP version, it's like way longer.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, selling crack rock to his wife, which is funny, but it's interesting that that's like a longer part and not a, a
I
short.
don't know which one I like better, because the long, drawn-out, oh, shit is funny, but Jay dropping Werner and Springwell, that fat bitch in the kitchen, is real good, too. They're both, I don't know, they're equal to me. I can't pick one. They both crack me up.
Well, we're not asking anyone to pick and choose. We're
I know,
just,
going
saying.
back and forth between the two, both are hilarious to me.
Are you going to have to go to Werner and Springwell and take a picture and put it on the Instagram? That's a no.
Oh, there's probably a fantastic restaurant right around that area, so...
Yeah, we'll have to Google that. And if we grab a Coney, that's pretty close to Dooley's there. It's Dooley's country.
Yeah, there was an amazing taco truck that was in a restaurant or a grocery store parking lot in that area, and it might have been literally on that intersection because me and cousin Aaron were out there eating and referencing a lot of early lines like that.
Isn't that the one that's across the street from Telway?
No.
There's a different one? Because that's in the Family Dollar parking lot.
No, this one's in a just straight up neighborhood grocery store type deal, and the taco truck was just straight up nothing on it, just white, not even a logo, but it was fantastic. Anyways, we're way off subject here.
Now we're talking about food.
But when it comes to Southwest Detroit, man, the food is top notch over there.
It is. Next verse.
They don't have steaks though in 54 vintage wines.
Not at Armando's or Xochimilco's. Next verse, they talk about, both of them, they're at home. I'm sorry. They're at the girl's home, meeting her father, and they both want to leave so that they can alleviate their problem with their nuts, as Chris so eloquently talked about before.
Backed up nuts. They don't need much time then if it's been backed up for 6 months, though.
It's true. Now, I've always wondered this, so let's get your opinion, Christopher. We'll just go with the Madrox version. Besides, he slipped me a 50, but then again, I'm kind of shifty. Mm-hmm. Did he steal that 50, or did the guy give it to him?
I thought he gave it to him to take his daughter out for a nice night, is what he was saying. And the guy they just pocketed it. That's how I always took it.
That's interesting. No, they both let them use their car, but I always took it as they stole the $50 bill.
Yeah, no, I took it as he gave it to him for a night out, but it doesn't make any sense since the night out already happened.
He just put it right in his sock.
Yeah, the timeline's kind of fucked up here. I'm assuming maybe he didn't pick her up. She met him. She got dropped off.
How did they get to their house?
Yeah. This story doesn't make any sense.
Well, I guess that doesn't say that she didn't drive. It's not like she took the bus. They just say hey, get your ass on the bus, bitch. But that doesn't. I'm sure that's what they said. But it's not saying that she didn't drive. So she could have driven them to her house, and then she just picks up and drives right to his house, where his old man is on the couch, and they both, tell them to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Hey, take your ass to the bar and don't come home soon, or for a while, depending on your song persuasion.
Right.
And then the next line we have to talk about, which is the same in both of them, right?
I mean, I guess you don't change something that's that good.
I mean, when something's true, you gotta fucking stick with it. There's only one slight change, but a juggalo's known for smacking hoes, so I need to bust nut, so I switched to the Mac mode. So they're basically saying that they beat women. Am I correct?
Different time?
I don't know. You always hide behind the different time thing.
Yeah, that line don't age well.
At least you can say it's not Twiztid's fault on this one. They just
it's not Twiztid's fault. He didn't change it.
Yeah, he's just
He kept it. So that's just fresh. I'm keeping that.
It's not what he's. These opinions are that of Chris and not of the entire podcast. But yeah, I'm not for ICP being a group that's all high and mighty on some shit, and then they throw things in like that.
I mean, they were young kids at this time.
Yeah, that's an excuse. All right. Next verse, which is going back to my original issue. So you have Monoxide doing the little interlude, right? I'll just wait. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by Chris getting up and getting 2 more Miller Lights.
Thought I'd be smooth. There's nothing smooth about me moving.
No smoothness. Twiztid version, Monoxide does the little interlude here about the, I don't know, what would you call it? The smooth talking, if you will?
R&B, jazzy,
yeah, the
Alan Allnuts.
The John B. So Monoxide does it on this version because someone can correct us, and we're not on Carnival Carnage here. I don't think that's Shaggy doing it on the original version.
I always thought it was.
I don't know. I couldn't find any writing or musical credits on it. I don't know why we couldn't assume that's John. It's just, to me, it doesn't sound like Shaggy. But
John who?
Kitch Ass, his brother.
Oh.
But Come on, this is a Juggalo podcast, God. You're supposed to be a Juggalo elite.
I'm in twisted mindset here. Sorry, sir.
Oh, sir.
Got me all embarrassed.
I mean, it could be Shaggy, but Shaggy at this point is fucking 17 years old. Like 16 or 17. It's just, I don't know.
Woman, you know I love you. So why don't you just let me fuck you? Now, bitch, I know you's a freak. So let me get a little kiss on your cheek. And a fuck to go with that. Come on, nympho. Let me hit that. Tell you what, you let me stick it. And I got a leftover piece of chicken for you.
Maybe I need to re-listen to it, but
it's actually on Genius here, and I remember listening to this. The jam exam that ICP, does, Shaggy discusses it, saying this rap is dope as fuck, and then once again it switches up to like some R&B shit, and back then around that time, like Boys Men were hidden, all kinds of groups like that were hidden, and the song would always break down to some like deep voice, Romantic Ninja. He doesn't say if it's him or not, he just says...
well, thanks a lot. The fuck?
But like, you think he would have... I remember them discussing that. You think he would have said, "Oh, that's my brother. That's not me."
No, we'll save that for the Carnival of Carnage podcast.
Sorry, you can delete that part.
No, this is perfect.
Because he says explains the delivery of his verse on the song.
Oh, then maybe it is. I'm bad at some stuff like this. Like, I don't know who's what. I still don't know who any of the three of Al Azul are by their voice.
No one does.
So yeah, no, it could be him. I apologize for wasting our time with this. My point being that Monoxide picks up that version, which goes back to Chris's point earlier in the episode. If you are a layperson, and by I say layperson, I mean not of the Juggalo persuasion, you probably assume at a certain time that Jay is the leader and Shaggy's like the co-host.
Right.
Kind of like I'm the leader and Chris is the co-host.
That's right. I'm the Bobby Heenan of the show.
Does this song lend the fact that Madrox is the leader and Monoxide is the secondary? Or is it just so happens that like, hey, we're doing a song that has one person, I have to do it, we can't split it? Like,
I feel like it's not as obvious for Twiztid. I never thought of that during this time.
I don't know if I did either. I think I thought of them as a group, but
right.
But doesn't this kind of like, if you're following the trend, is the fat funny guy the leader and the quiet skinny guy is like the go behind? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I always wonder that in general on both groups, like, because the one is obviously like more in the forefront. He's more of the, has more lyrics. I don't know. Seems like he's ahead, but yeah, the ideas equally pitched. I'm sure they're not in ICP's case. It seems like Jay is pretty much like he has his ideas, but like, yeah, is Twiztid equally with their ideas when it comes to it? I think it feels less of a leader and a follower on their end.
Right. I would agree. I think this
the song definitely
lends to people thinking that if you're an ICP fan for this many years and then you get to this, you're like, oh, they're just. I was about to say it kind of lends to the fact that they're a mirror image of them too. When they're trying to break away, like maybe this wasn't the best song for them to do. Like
that makes me go back to the very beginning. Where like, did they want to do this, or was it told, hey, you should do this track?
I think they were told to do it, but that's my opinion.
That's a question we need to on the wrap up show if we ever could get to the round of getting the true story on it. Because I
don't think that's ever gotten answered by anybody.
Right
now. This is, again, where I go to this. In the ICP version, so Shaggy does the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. Until the very end. Twiztid's version, Monoxide gets cut in half by Violent J interrupting him. So he, again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but he takes over that part. Like, he's like, get out of my way, like, this is what I'm doing. And they have a back and forth. They have an $85 an hour reference, which is a reference to Mike Clark, and oddly enough, that a song like later on in this CD. But I don't know. It's weird that he interjects himself on some songs. Like, let's go back, the Twiztid intro, Smoke Break, Now, first day out, like, I get that
Giving them the rub.
that they're the boss and they feel the need to put their stamp on everything, but we are now 6 songs in and Jay's been on at least 3 tracks.
Yeah, but I feel like none of it has been overpowering. It's just a little sprinkling.
And and I get it. One was an intro, one was an interlude. Like, I get that.
And this time, I feel like it's more, you're trying to, you sign these guys, you're trying to bring them in, and you're trying to be like, hey, they're part of our, because they did not a lot of luck bringing in new artists on their label at the time.
No, definitely.
And these ones, Twiztid seemed more like there were, people were gravitating to it more. So I don't know. I at the time, and looking back on it, I don't think it's more of a like he needs to get his shit in, as they say in wrestling. I felt more of a he was just kind of giving them the rub, and it didn't feel overpowering, at least at this point.
All right.
I don't know.
Maybe that's just me looking back and potentially,
seeing the future ripples. Yeah, maybe this is the first. You throw the stone in the water. It's the first ripple out in the water.
It's very zen.
The Juggalo Zencast.
Oh, man. We come up with a lot of different names for this.
That's what we need, a list of all the names we come up with as we record episodes.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's what I got. That's all I got for lyrics.
Little note here. Missionary style sex to end this out. A little smooth talking, she was on her back. Just straight forward.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you're fresh out of jail. I guess you don't want to go too crazy.
I'm done. I can't do this anymore. We'll quit.
We're dissecting the lyrics. Come on.
I always thought, so fucking now we're just getting into this. Why not? Why are we not doing this? On both songs, they both talk about continuing to eat the chicken, which is good. On both versions, the line...
Sorry, just continue to eat the chicken.
The line is, first day out, and I caught my nut. I always thought, like, I know that's like a phrase, but it's so... I don't know. You caught it?
the way the beat hits, and like when you sing this live back in the day, and you're like singing along, like, oh, this sounds cool as hell, this is sweet. You're like, I'm singing I caught my nut. Yeah, it sounds fucking ridiculous.
I think maybe I always thought it was like I got my nut.
Either way, it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, you got fucking 5,000 people talking about jerking off. You're fucking like, just even it's just
like, I'll still listen to it and just nod my head like, oh, this shit's sweet. But yeah, you show this to just a normal person on the street, they're like, what are you listening to?
Normal
Caught your nut?
Just everyone on the floor at the State Theater is doing the jerk off sign during them. Fuck. Now, I will admit something. Not admit something, but I will say, no, this is bad.
Where's this going?
Yeah, that's bad. Obviously, like, I kind of shit talked ICP about this like 2 minutes ago, but there's definitely a reason why they did it this way. Like, you're right, they needed the rub, and no one listening on a certain side of the fence is gonna like this. There was a time where I was at a show, a Twiztid show, and I don't know if they were like playing new stuff or like that particular crowd wasn't that into that show on that day.
Yeah.
And they played this song, and the place went fucking banana.
I feel like I remember that era of that happening and
it's
seeing
like,
it too.
And I don't want to insinuate that like it was a down era. It could have been just a bad night. It could have been a shitty group of fans that night. But like, I very distinct. I don't know if you were at that show. I distinctly remember being with our buddy Chris from Denver, and because I was looking at something on my phone, like the first song, and he looked at me and he's like, "You're already bored?" And I'm like, "No, I just was looking at like a text or something."
This is the one thing about when you go to a show with Pete here is that he never looks like he's having a good time.
Well, that's just...
I'm always like, you hate this band, and no matter what band we're at.
That's just life in general. That's not just concerts. But yeah, I was just looking at something. I just remember that very distinctly. And when this song was like, probably one of the first 5, and it just, everyone went ballistic.
I remember, like, I mean, it might have been a different show, but like you said, 20-something years ago at this point, yeah, that definitely is a thing. Like, they had to, the Juggalo fans, at least at that time, were not too welcoming on outsiders. It was a very inclusive.
Yeah,
It took a hard time for people to break
as they
through.
like to
Yeah,
say
for
now.
sure. And Twiztid definitely did. And I think, like you said, these songs, these moments kind of help do that.
Now, if there's a question I would ever get to ask Twiztid about this, I mean, I'd love to ask like what we've been talking about for the past hour, but I would almost say, you now have your own label. You've signed. I mean, Blaze is different because Blaze was like already their buddy. You signed Al Azul. You signed Gibby. You bring on guys like that.
Right.
Have you learned from how you were treated what to or what not to do with a new person?
Right.
So, like, not that we're getting like super deep into, Magic Ninja or these other bands, but like, how many songs on The Almighty for Al Azul is Twiztid on? Are they on any? Yeah, and like, it wasn't super overpowering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't change their entire sound, or like that CD didn't sound disjointed.
No.
I think Madrox is on Gibby's first CD or first song on that CD.
Yeah.
They weren't on any of the Lars songs, I don't think.
No, I don't think Lars had anybody.
They were a
Rest
whole
in
different.
peace, Lars. That was a sweet album.
I thought I saw something about a new album out of them.
I thought they're not on the label anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they have a bunch of people on their label now. Oh, the Horror, and they've had other people. I can't. Who's that other? The two guys. I don't even remember their name right now. But yeah, I just wonder if obviously they learned from their past, or from just like anyone. Like you learn how someone treats you. You don't want to treat someone like that. Like your boss when you were a kid probably treated you like shit because you were a stupid 16-year-old. If you're working with a kid now, do you think like, hey, I don't want to treat him like I got treated? I wonder if they have an element of that. And does it come specifically from this era?
Right. I think they both probably would be different. I mean, at that time, you're both the same age, and you're the ones mentoring them are the same age as you. And I think it's a different time. Like, it's a lot easier to put someone out now. Like, both of them, both labels could sign someone a lot easier. And, with streaming and everything, getting it out there as opposed to back then, I feel like you're investing a lot more, so you're really trying to, pull them into your world. But yeah, I agree to that point that it'd be interesting to hear their take on what they learned, on how they were treated, with how they treat their talent, for sure. I think that is a interesting point.
Maybe we'll ask someone that one day. We'll see. I think we kind of caught our nut on the lyrical side of that. History of the track, obviously, that's what we were talking about the whole fucking thing. We bounced back and forth between this version and Carnival of Carnage version. So with a cover, I don't know how else we could have done that.
They're tied together for sure.
Yeah. And we kind of talked about how they are live and the everlasting, part that this has in Juggalo history.
I feel like it was big for a moment, and I feel like now it's just lost. Like it's from a past era.
From a past era.
Like, really, though, I mean, do they ever play this live anymore?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't think so. But I think I distinctly remember Gathering 2002, I think, them playing this live, and, like, the crowd, like, all, like, when he does the R&B, like, talk along, the whole crowd just, like, they just stop, and the crowd just does it. I feel like it was huge for that early 2000s era, and I feel like now it's just kind of like, it's not in their pantheon.
Whoa,
music.
Jesus.
I can bring all the big words on this podcast.
And if they didn't do this song now, I wouldn't blame them.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's whatever. But
even before, it seemed like it kind of just like faded away, like it was there for a brief moment.
This is going deep into the Juggalo culture. Are there... How do I even want to phrase this? I need to pause and think for a second. Are fans either too new or too young that listen to Twiztid and don't know this is a cover? Don't know where it's from?
I think they just don't even know it. I think it's just... the cover and the original are just from such a forgotten time of... I don't know. We always discuss this of like eras of juggalos that come through, because there's definitely distinct groups of juggalos. You see, they all like almost even look different. Like the ones you go to shows, like throughout the time, the crowds kind of change. Like the younger, obviously we're just old ass shitty men when we go to the shows, but
Yes.
you could see the groups of, the crowds kind of evolve. I think either version is of a different time.
Did you even answer my question? Or are you just babbling about how juggalos look?
I was babbling, but I'm saying I don't think they know it's a cover. I don't think they even know the song.
I get that, like, we've talked about how people could be listening to this or listening to Twiztid that just picked up their new CD or just heard them on Warped Tour, so they don't know the back catalog, which is fine. I just wonder if not those people, because those
Someone
are
who's
like,
listening to both.
yeah, like if you definitely consider yourself a juggalo,
Right.
do you know the song or the
Say
original?
most.
This is again diving deep. I've been to shows like a Blaze show where he plays a song off the EP and
no one
people
reacts.
straight up don't know it.
Yeah.
If he played that for us right now, I would be running on stage
Right.
naked. Like, thank you.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, it feels like it's a different era. Like, there's people, and you could see pockets of people who will, but yeah, the vast majority of concert-going fans, maybe, not so much.
That's interesting.
Because it's a young man's game. Live music.
Why'd you just wink at me when you said that? Weirdo. But yeah, I would have thought when we wrote this down that this would have been like an everlasting kind of juggalo culture song, but maybe it's not. It's, like you said, lost to time.
Yeah, it feels of an era.
It blew my mind. Wait, I mean,
You need another smoke break.
yeah, I need to put that down and talk about it later. That's interesting to me. Not that I like hold Carnival Carnage in this high respect, like it's fucking the Beatles' White Album or whatever. I don't even like the Beatles. I don't even know why I just said that.
It's more like the Beatles, like one of the first Beatles albums when they first show up on the shores, White Album's more like Bizarre. They switched their style up.
No idea what you're talking about. Save that for your normal music podcast. Also, this song, the Twiztid version, A First Day Out, is found on their Cryptic Collection Valentine's Day edition.
I've never seen that one or seen the track listing.
I want to say it's like a white cover, white and red cover. I don't think I own it.
Is it a tour thing or something, or a shop exclusive? Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I really don't know. You have the computer. You look
Right.
it up. And then obviously we said there's no samples. That's like it's a cover of ICP. One thing I did want to note, I want to note like it's my thing. The ending on the Island version of the reissue is a little different than the original.
Yeah, they trim off Jay laughing in the outro.
Yeah. I think you kind of find that through a lot of Twiztid songs. Maybe it's just the next one. I think it's a lot of them. There's a lot of like background banter that you kind of hear that, from the recording that makes it seem like a fun little party in there. Like you hear them talking or Blaze or something like that. Gives it a little something. And yeah, they cut that off of the Island version here.
So I'm looking up Cryptic Collection Valentine's Day edition.
Oh no.
Well, first of all, it was available through the Eat Your Heart Out tour in 2017. There's two versions. Secondly, the tour came with copies of the fixed copy of the album in the sleeve.
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
But by the way, looking at the track listing, it's all the tracks
all the songs that we don't want to talk about.
She Ain't Afraid, Dirty Little Girl, Fucking the First Date, First Day Out, Old School Pervert. And then ones I don't know, This Bitch, Slut.
Slut.
Yeah, it's all the sex songs, which is funny.
We will not be doing a season on that CD. It'll be the shortest season
That'll
ever.
be the Patreon edition. Twisted Wet Dreams featuring Bizarre.
All right, enough of that. That's a whole nother episode, a whole nother podcast.
We have to do a little homework. We're going to have to listen to this She Ain't Afraid featuring Too Dope.
Yeah, throw that into the YouTube machine, and everyone will hear that in a couple weeks when we talk about She Ain't Afraid.
Oh boy.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that episode. I forgot. I didn't put two and two together. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. All right, wrapping up. What do you think of this song in the pantheon. What's the other word you always use for music?
Juggalo lexicon?
No, there's another one, but I won't remember it. What are you thinking? First day out in your head. What's the verdict?
I think right in the middle.
Canon was the word I was looking
Canon,
for.
the Juggalo canon.
That means nothing to me in this talk, but
right in the middle. It's there. It's a classic for its time, but I feel like it's just forgotten. It's definitely not one that's revisited much on tours, and I don't feel like I'm hearing people bumping it out there. Maybe.
What are you hearing people bump? You just driving down Southwest Detroit hearing people bumping songs?
Well, we're at Astronomicon. I make the loops. I walk around the hotel and hear what people are listening to in their rooms. I'm a man of the people.
These are all goddamn lies.
I make my way around. I hear what's going on in the culture.
You got your finger on the pulse of the Juggalo culture.
100%. I'm going to put it right in the middle. It's there. It's good. I enjoy it, but I don't think it's revered by the masses as much as it used to be.
It's interesting. I'd probably agree with you. I never thought of it till you said it like that, but yeah, I like it. Probably top half of the CD for me, but it is weird that it's a cover. You know, it's not because of who it's a cover of or like what their feelings are, but it's just, yeah, it's always weird when like your favorite song of something is from someone is a cover. Like, we've talked about that in past episodes, right?
Yeah.
Something about having your favorite be a cover or having it too far up is just.
Here's the question:
seems dirty.
At the time when this was like we said, Gathering 02 and at that era, I felt like this surpassed First Day Out. Now 20 years later, is it the Johnny Cash Hurt? Did it pass the
original?
Pass the original, or are they both kind of just there? Or is the original still holding strong?
I don't know. I feel like
it's weird because it's not a hit, I'd say, for either of them. It's not like one of the big songs by ICP. That's
right.
Makes it kind of weird as a cover, but neither of us hurt, I guess, when you think of Nine Inch Nails. But it was for Johnny Cash, so yeah. Does Twiztid make it their own? And it's back to your point. You said, do people know it's a cover? Is it Twiztid song now, or?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I guess that would be a good question for.
We got a little Polsky for the internet.
Yeah, depending on your era, where you came in, what you. That's a different podcast. Depending on where you came in, who you liked, what you listened to. I guess you could say that about any cover.
Like, right? I knew the original at first. I would say there was a time where I put Twiztid's above it. I thought Twiztid's was cooler was a better version.
I think, and this is not the podcast for this, but I feel like with newer fans, Carnival of Carnage and Ringmaster have lost their luster.
Yeah.
I don't think people think of them as like iconic CDs. I think people think of them as trash. Like, it's maybe because of how they sing or how it sounds.
I mean, it's an outdated sound for sure.
Yeah.
That's early 90s. 100%.
But maybe on that aspect, it's lost its luster among the fans. But like, if you've been a fan the whole time, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is a good version. I don't know if I like one better or the other. I think they're different. So I'm not gonna pick. You can't make me. I'm not gonna do it.
Just a question to simmer on.
I agree. I understand.
Understand. That's Pete's wrap-up line always.
Well, there you have it. I think that's all I had. Do you have anything else for us about this wonderful song?
Nope, just make sure when you get a steak, don't order it well done.
Oh, man. Nice well done steak.
Ugh.
Some nice ketchup.
Dry-ass mouth.
I don't like steak in general.
I like steak. It's just, got to eat it in moderation. We're old men. We can't eat red meat.
I eat red meat. I don't know. I'm not a steak eater. I also don't eat. I don't like chicken wings, and you've called me un-American for not liking chicken wings.
I forgot to, we're time-stamping ourselves. I wanted to marinate some tonight for tomorrow morning.
That's not time-stamping. That's just saying we're recording at night.
I got to brine them the night before, so every time I want chicken wings, I never remember to brine them. So they just sit in the fridge more, or the freezer.
I don't like the bone. I don't like the gristle. That's just why I don't like steak.
My wife's the same way. It's all boneless. And I'm like, boneless isn't a chicken wing. They're good. They're just tiny chicken tenders.
Yeah, but then you waste with all the... Oh, all right, we'll save this for the food podcast. This is the longest episode of the Juggalo Rewind that we've had so far. I am Peter. That is Chris. You can follow us at JuggaloRWD on all the socials. You can email us at juggalorwd@gmail.com. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple, all those good things, or just go to the powerful tool that is the World Wide Web and go to juggalorewind.com, where you can find not a whole lot, but we put our hearts and soul into it, just like this. So
it's growing.
It is. It's growing.
Just like Madrock and Violent J scrotums.
Just like the hunger deep inside them for that steak and shrimp.
And catching a nut.
Steak and shrimp, like, do those go good together? I guess it's like surf and turf, right?
Yeah. It's always like a side. Yeah. Add a side of shrimp on that steak.
I don't think I've ever had steak and shrimp. But I don't get steak.
Now I just want to sing the Ryder song.
I've probably had 5 steaks in the past 30 years. So I don't know.
What about, like, do you ever do steak tacos, you know? Get a flank steak?
Very rare. You mean, no, very rarely.
Oh, man. Missing out.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyways.
That's all we got for today. Tune in next week for our next episode. What's our song next week? Somebody dissing you.
Dum, bum, bum, dum. I like the little beat that kicks in there.
All right. I gotta go. This is over. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Fuck. All music played in this episode and in this entire season is owned by the respective publishers and copyright holders and is reproduced for review purposes only under fair use. Season 1 of the Juggalo Rewind, Mostasteless, has been produced and distributed with full permission from Magic Ninja Entertainment. Thank you to George, Mike, Dustin, and Twiztid, and everyone at Magic Ninja for allowing us to do this podcast for you.